Oh crap, it's going down. Boy, does it ever feel good to be starting this video here, let me tell you guys that. I know you guys have been wanting to see this thing get started, and I know I promised you guys that as soon as winter came this year, we were going to start this project, and well, it's December, and winter is officially here. So we're going to start on, I don't know what we're going to call the van, Project Raptor, Project Apocalypse, something crazy, Project Bugout. That's actually a really good one, Project Bugout. But so for those of you guys who don't know, I bought this ambulance about 3 years ago. It's got a 7.3 liter diesel inside, and the reason why I bought it wasn't because I had a 4x4 kit in it. I bought it because the ambulance is extremely unique and very rare. So Demers Ambulances here in Canada only built this, I think what it was for a couple year production, and that was it. They pulled them out of there. It was over for them, making this thing very unique. So I know when I pull into a big overland event or pull into a place where all the overlanders hang out, I will probably be the only ambulance that looks like this one. And if I ever go to one of those events, they're like, you can park in the ambulance section over there, I'll be the only guy that doesn't have a box one. Pretty sweet. Anyway, but this thing needs a ton of work. So if you didn't catch the videos last year, we did a tiny little bit of work on the engine. We did not do a rebuild, but we did do new injectors and stuff like that and replace some of the outside parts. We welded up some stuff on the floor, did some new interior work, and now it's time to start tackling the outside. So I had a meeting with Darryl this morning. We'll talk about that a little later in the video. But today is officially the day we start project. What are we going to call it? So my plan here today is to just do some prep work on the ambulance for the fiberglass. So there's a bit of damage here in the corner and a whole ton of spidering all over here. We originally ground out all the spider cracks, but after doing a bit more research and learning a little bit more about the spider cracks, we need to grind them out a bit more, open them up a little bit. That way when we do the filler, it's going to have something to bite to. So that's what we're doing today. I got one tool in hand. It's the only tool we're going to need. Let's get at this thing. And if you're wondering if I know what I'm doing, I got no idea. I went to YouTube and that's how I learned. So wish me luck. So when I was at the fiberglass shop today, the guy gave me some tips on how to do this stuff, which helped out a ton. I was originally going to do gel coat on here because that's how I was taught online when I was watching all the boat stuff, is you have to fill in those gel coat cracks with gel coat. Well, apparently I don't. All I got to do is fill it in with the polyester resin with some other kind of a product mix inside of it just to make it thick, turn it into like a resin paste, and then it kind of goes on like peanut butter, like it would be like a body filler. So we're going to just grind at it. I know some are watching this channel right now is some boat repair guy slapping himself in the freaking forehead going, Chrome, walk away from the ambulance, bro. Walk away, put the tools down. All right, this side's not so bad, so we're going to finish off this side and get it done. You know what, I think I'm okay with all I've done. There is some spider cracks and stuff that need to be done up top, but I think I've done enough sanding on here that we can start working at filling in some of these. But let's dust this thing off before it goes back in the shop. Damn. So when it comes to the color that we're going to paint this thing, I'm still thinking that we're going to do this in some kind of a gray. So Porsche has a really rad light gray. I've also seen a super cool gray on some of the Dodges and some of the Audis. So I'm not too sure. I had my eye on like 4 different shades of gray when I was looking at painting this thing last year. I know last time Darryl was here, we took it out for a rip and it drove fine, but today we had a problem today driving this thing out. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, what a mess out here. What the heck? That's nuts. Well, looks like it snowed in front of Chrome's shop. Something I never thought about when it came to building this shop, looking so pretty like a giant YouTube studio, was the want to not get it dirty. Okay, for real though. I wouldn't mind getting this place dirty if it wasn't full of so many products. There's a lot of stuff sitting over there that I don't want to be shipped out with a whole pile of dirt on top of it. One step, baby, one step at a time. You know, someone that could have followed me around with the camera today, so instead of the camera sitting stationary, it would have moved around with me and filming all the stuff that I did. I think it would have added a really rad element to it. But when you film alone, this is what you got to work with. Hey, wait a minute. I hear a diesel outside. Who's here? Did you invite anybody, Amanda? You might have. Look who it is. Well, look who the cat dragged in.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
How are you, bro? I'm doing good, man.
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Thank you for coming.
Look at these two. So Amanda's got some work that she needs to do on that ambulance, and I kind of need that thing off of the lift for tomorrow. So she decided instead of her doing the work that she's going to call in Lauren to come help her out with that little project there. So on the front of that thing, she has the front main seal that's gone, and it's a couple-hour job. And when she first put it up on the lift, that was her intention, just to get it done. But then we got really busy around the shop, and she had no time for that project. So, but we need that lift tomorrow. You sure Lauren's a good guy to ask for advice? I hear he's a Christmas tree farmer right now. He farms Christmas trees now.
Oh, make it leak. Make it rain, Amanda. Make it rain.
So I mixed this stuff up. He said the consistency of peanut butter. Oh, hello. Emmy brought us some food. What are you guys talking about over there? Girls whispering in the shop. This is not allowed. You can whisper in here when you pay the bills. Well, I guess Amanda has it right because she runs the show, so. So yeah, guys, I kind of filled it up through there. It looks pretty good. Tomorrow what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sand it all down and kind of make sure it looks okay and just do another coat on it. My tacos were $18 including the Coke. Standing burrito.
Yeah. Just make it stand.
All right, we're gonna attempt to do some glass work here in the back corner. I'm really not sure how we're gonna fill up this corner hole, but trial and error, I'm gonna guess, is probably the best way. I really don't have anything I can put in here as a backing, and there's no access to getting inside of there whatsoever. So, I don't know. Let's get to it though. You know? I think that just might work. There's no way, but there's... I think if we shoved another piece on the top side, we might be good to go. I mean, really, once this thing hardens in there, it's going to be rock hard. With the camera that far away, it's hard to see, but yeah, I just packed that hole full. I think in the morning, I'm going to remove that screw and give that corner another sand and then start doing the outside of it. Build up that corner a little bit. This one here, I'm not too sure about. That is a very big piece to fill. I think I'm gonna have to actually build a kind of like a starter piece here. Something that kind of comes out of the edge here, curves around a little bit there, and then start working the glass over it to build that corner up so it's good and thick enough that we can grind it down and contour it. So I'm thinking this piece needs to be relatively thick. I am rather impressed. This is going to have some pretty nasty cleanup tomorrow, some sanding. But all around this area, I'm actually really impressed. After you start playing with a fiberglass for a while, you start to kind of figure it out. I just can't believe I'm using my fingers, that's all. So I think I'm going to leave this project alone for the night tonight just to see if that cures in the corner and I'm at least in the right direction. And this I feel pretty good about. I think I'm going to sand it down in the morning and give it another quick layer. And I'm going to see if I can get to the inside of that one to fill the holes from the inside. So a few of these, this is where the door had their shutting system. I'm not going to put them back in most places. Like this one here and this one here, I have access to the inside so I can seal it on the inside and the outside, making those super strong. Some of the door openers will be going back on, but some of them will not be going back on. I was originally going to keep those holes and just rebolt to those holes, but when we were taking them out, some of the bolts broke, which reamed that hole a little bit bigger. So I figured it's probably safe to just, well, fill them all in, and then if we need to screw them in a different place, we'll screw them in a different place instead of putting them back into the exact same locations. Hi, Cruzy Bear. Would you like to say something to everybody? How was your day today? Oh, yeah? Did you do anything but sleep? Hold on. I have a funny feeling you slept all day. Is that the truth? Let me finish this video, okay? Buddy. So first thing in the morning this morning, I phoned Darryl right away and said, Darryl, can you come to the shop? Can we have a meeting to talk about a few things? He's like, sure, bro, be there in 5 minutes. Boom, he was here right quick. It was funny because I'm like, how'd you get here so fast? He's like, I was just down the road. He was about to drive by anyway. So it was actually perfect timing. It's weird how things line up like that sometimes. But yeah, he was right here. And he goes, I was actually thinking about you too. So it was perfect this morning. Anyway, I called Darryl in so we could talk about his role in making this big ambulance dream of mine come true. So if you don't know who Darryl is the new guy that I have working around van toys. He's doing a lot of stuff for us over there. He'll be with me for 2 days a week on the van toy side, but I can also steal him to do stuff on this side here as well too, which is great. He'll be the one that'll be fabricating bumpers, ladders, roof rack systems, doing mechanical, a lot of stuff. But this project is going to move quite fast this year. We have a bunch of short windows to work on this thing, so we're going to hammer this out as fast as we can. I would love to see this thing, rims, tires. Oh, and we're going to put this thing back to dually, by the way. I had originally thought about doing like a big super single on the back, but with how big and how wide this thing is, I don't see this ambulance getting into the crazy situations that I take my current home. So I'm going to do dualies on the back just because it'll help support the weight in the rear and fill in those big back wheel wells over there, making this thing just look super wide in the backside. So we are going to be doing the dualies for sure. I'm probably going to stick with the 33-inch tires. I don't think we're going to go to a 35. Maybe we will see on how the fitment is going to be. 35s are quite big. And I'm not sure if I want to go as far as redoing the rear differential gear ratio to run 35s on this thing. And I think I might have to redo the gears if I do run the 35s on the back. And besides, spinning 4 35-inch tires, my van has got 2 it's got to turn on the back. This thing would have 4 35s on the rear. My gosh, that's insane to think about that kind of weight being chucked around underneath this thing. So we talked about it, and the first thing I'm doing right now is trying to take care of some of the bodywork stuff. We know a guy that might be able to help us with all the finishing work and maybe possibly getting it into paint. This is a big rig. I don't know where we're going to paint it. We still haven't crossed that bridge yet. Probably at some kind of semi-truck paint place. That's probably the best bet because this thing's huge. And so first step for Darryl. Darryl's going to walk over this thing mechanically, find out why the gas pedal doesn't work sometimes, and find out why it's stalling. And today, if you watched the last video when Darryl was here, it didn't act up one bit. Today, I backed it out of here, and the vehicle was running, but the pedal was completely dead. I was pushing it back, up and down off the floor, I don't know, probably 10 times before one time it goes, whoa, and it kicked back in and went. So something's causing that dead pedal. And I think that's probably the same cause that's causing it to stall sometimes. Like maybe it gets part way into that dead pedal and just kills the engine. I don't know. But in order to diagnose that stuff, it's probably best that it does that when the mechanic is around. So fingers crossed, next time we get a chance to take this thing out when Darryl's here, it acts up. So Darryl's first thing that he's doing is to make sure mechanically this thing is okay before we start dumping a pile of money into this thing. After the engine is taken care of, we're going to work on the suspension. So upgrading and changing all the shocks and stuff so everything's new underneath there, reassessing the whole 4x4 kit scenario to make sure all the ball joints are good and everything is ready to build on. We're doing brand new leaf springs in the rear because this thing still has the factory leaf springs, which would bring the back end up probably another 4 more inches, giving this thing a bit more, that stance on the trail. And then once all the suspension's all done, I'm going to start painting everything underneath and making all this stuff super pretty. That way when she leaves here, she looks like a brand newly built rig. Now that the engine's pretty, we're going to make the suspension nice and shiny too. Then, once suspension and engine is completed and we're all on the clear, this thing will be going to J5 Custom Vans, getting the high top put in. So John, if you are watching this video, let's talk about maybe giving me some rough ballpark dates that we can do this so we can get this bad boy down there so we can get this project moving and I can stand up in it. That'd be so cool to have a rig you can stand in. Then, after the high top is done, we're designing a roof rack system with the side access ladder and side access ladder probably on this side. We were talking about doing them on the rear, but I think we might do them on the side. Then our brand new Van Toys Ford Econoline front bumper will be going on this thing. Yeah, you heard me right. We are designing a ginormous, huge, beefy front bumper for the Ford Econolines. This van will be the first one to get it. We're actually designing 2 different bumpers. A really basic, simple bumper that's part tube, part plate bumper that will be affordable, that people can put on their off-road rigs without spending a fortune on the ginormous, big, huge, massive one. So this one, once we master it, if I like it on this rig and I'm like, yeah, that's the one we're going to sell, we'll be putting them into production, which is super rad. But we have a lot of work here to do. So Darryl is also a master fabricator. He has spent a chunk of his time also in like custom hot rod automotive stuff. So he could literally make me anything. He has a plasma CNC cutter up at his shop. He has access of doing like laser cutting and stuff for all the intricate stuff if I want to do something crazy. But if I can dream something out of metal or anything, he can do it, which opens up our opportunity for me to do. So on the back of this thing, you guys are going to come for a walk. So on the back of the Ambo, we have these plastic bubble. Cruz, you don't follow me. This stuff's wet on the floor. We got those things. And I don't like the look of that. I think that looks, I don't know. I don't like it. So I'd love to do some kind of really crazy metal bezel on the back there with all the lights and stuff embedded into it. Something that's a bit more, angled and edgy that matches everything else. So when I was talking to him about it, I'm like, we need to redo those taillights. He goes, I can do whatever you want. So cool. But anyway, guys, just a simple little video here today. It was hard to film these things without a camera person. Man, someone to move around with that camera today, getting close in and coming back out. And oh my gosh, it would be so, so, so good. Sometimes I dream about that stuff, but otherwise you're stuck with, hold on, let me get this angle. Hold on, let's try this angle. Hold on, let's try this angle. Yep, filming as a one-man crew. You get what you get. All right, guys, give me the thumbs up if you guys are excited to see this thing starting to get done. I know this is going to make a lot of you guys happy, and I'm stoked that we're starting this right now. That means we're back on this project on the next video as well, too, so come back. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Peace out. We done, Cruzy Bear. We done. We can go get you some food. Hey, want to say something else? Oh, don't eat it, bro. All right, y'all. Double V's up. Peace out.